Danny and Michael Philippou's new film, Bring Her Back, is a film about grief. Deep grief. The kind of grief you only feel after the loss of something so special, so dear, that it becomes all consuming. The type of grief that make people do crazy, unthinkable things in order to quell that grief, and the type of grief that is utterly and completely horrifying, more so than any supernatural flick could be. Hey everyone, I'm Joe from Create Context, and today we're talking about Danny and Michael Philippou's new film, Bring Her Back. Bring Her Back is the second movie from the YouTubers turned filmmaker Australian twins after their incredibly successful debut, Talk to Me. Talk to Me gained a bit of a cult following for its dire tone, truly terrifying moments, and its larger themes of grief and teen peer pressure. It also felt in some ways like a return to form for production and distribution company A24. A24 has been around for a while. They are quite popular with both the awards circuit and this kind of like bro-y film culture. They rose to prominence, though, with their weird, spooky calendar of horror movies, flicks like Hereditary and The Witch, and even A Ghost Story. These are these odd horror movies that contained incredible performances, interesting stories, and had passionate audiences. Horror always seems to do well at the box office. Americans love horror movies. The newest Final Destination film, Bloodlines, that's made almost $200 million internationally, 100 of that on domestic screens. This is a huge win for cinema, and it's an incredible story that a film like this, a soft reboot, sequel kind of, to an all but dead franchise could put up such massive numbers. The type of horror movies, the ones that A24 became known for, are honestly the catalyst for A24's success. A24 knew that horror movies, if done well, will be successful at the box office, and they doubled down on this notion, making interesting, unique horror flicks that became buzzy and entered the public zeitgeist. Talk to Me became one of their strongest films in this category for its unique perspective and interesting ideas, while still remaining a true horror film at its core. It was a film that remained entertaining throughout, but also asked a lot of thought-provoking questions surrounding teen substance abuse, addiction, and peer pressure. Bring Her Back doesn't deal with all of these same themes, but instead leans heavy into the idea of grief and how all-consuming this emotion can be. This movie begins with two siblings, an almost 18-year-old boy and his blind preteen sister, losing their father in a shocking and upsetting way. The pair are then sent into the foster care system in Australia, where they fall under the care of Laura, a woman who lost a daughter of her own and also takes care of a truly creepy young boy by the name of Oliver. Much of the horror of Bring Her Back comes from the performance of Jonah Wren Phillips as Oliver. Creepy kid movies always have a certain aesthetic that, if done right, fills the audience with dread and a sense of unease throughout. Seeing a vulnerable child committing acts of self-harm or acting in a disturbing way works more often than not on screen, and this kid in this movie absolutely nails his performance. There are bigger mysteries and oddities happening in the house, all brought on by Laura, and we immediately become suspicious of her and her motivations. Sally Hawkins as Laura also nails her performance here, even when the writing doesn't totally live up to all of the performances happening on screen. The cinematography, dialogue, and score all lend itself well to the story these brothers are trying to convey, but it's this theme of utter and absolute grief that really separates Bring Her Back from your standard horror movie. There is a bigger mystery at play that keen-eyed viewers should be able to parse, but even so, this is a movie that will become better with each subsequent rewatch as things are made a little more clear. I love when a movie has a mystery that needs to be solved, but I like it even better when those movies can confidently portray their themes without the entire mystery becoming clear. Bring Her Back nails this aspect, and it's easy to see why Laura is so determined to act out her nefarious deeds. Bring Her Back is a fantastic movie, and one that I didn't have a ton of problems with. There was one odd dialogue choice towards the end of the movie, a sort of character reversal for one of the leads that I didn't totally buy, but truthfully, I prefer this choice over a long, drawn-out conclusion that doesn't service the plot. At 104 minutes, this film is easy to get through and never overstays its welcome. It's made exceptionally well, the actors are doing a fantastic job, and that sense of grief is present throughout every frame of the movie. If you're a horror fan, specifically the type of larger, deeper themed horror movies that A24 has become known for, then this movie is exactly what you're looking for. Thank you guys so much for hanging out at the Weekly Movie Minute. We'll be back next week with another flick, and I'll see you next time.